There are a lot of muscle cars out there that aren't your average Mustang, Camaro, or even Challenger, but it's not hard to think of ones outside the big three. So if a vehicle doesn't fall under one of those categories, does it not make it a muscle car? Well, it all depends on the definition of muscle car. First, let's start off with what makes a muscle car a muscle car. The average definition that I looked up is a wide variety of powerful, high-performance vehicles, usually rear-wheel drive, small to mid-sized cars with powerful 8-valve engines. What I define as a muscle car is a large two-door coupe or sedan with a high horsepower or displacement engine. The term muscle car is also used to describe American cars. So what car is the most underrated in this category? Well, it isn't exactly the most underrated, but it depends on who you ask. But in my opinion, the Buick Grand National is definitely up there. So what makes the Buick Grand National so special? Well, let me start off with saying, although the Grand National is the most popular, I'm talking more of a group of cars, those being turbo Buicks. You have the most popular Buick Grand National, and then the lesser known Turbo T or T-Type in the rarest Grand National Experimental, also known as the GNX. The GNX being different compared to the others because the engine was tuned by ASC McLaren. So let's start off with the history of turbo Buicks. Let's take it back to the early 1980s, where Buick was competing in stock car racing known as the NASCAR Grand National Series, where it won in both 1981 and 1982. Now, it was said what wins on Sunday sells on Monday. During the first model year, the 1982 Buick Regal Grand National made an earth-shattering 125 horsepower out of its naturally aspirated V6 engine. The same year, Mustang made only 157 horsepower out of its 5.0-liter V8. This was common back in the 80s because growing emission standards had choked performance. The turbocharged 1982 Buick Regal brought that horsepower up to 175 horsepower, although only 35 cars were built in the turbocharged setup, so it was nearly just an appearance package for the most part. It wasn't until 1984 that the iconic 3.8-liter turbocharged V6 engine would become the standard. With 200 horsepower, it was just under the 205 horsepower of the Chevrolet Corvette. But the thirst for performance at Buick didn't stop there. In 1986, the Grand National returned with 235 horsepower and 330 foot-pounds of torque. Not a lot in today's numbers, but this is the 1980s, when performance was at an all-time low. It was still faster than the Ford Mustang, Chevrolet Camaro, and Pontiac Firebird of the same year. 1987 was the best year for turbo Buicks. 547 Grand Nationals were sent to ASC McLaren to be fitted with bigger turbos, a new ECU, better suspension, and more, creating 276 horsepower and 360 foot-pounds of torque. The Ferrari F40, which was Ferrari's flagship of the day, couldn't even keep up. Official track testing saw that a sprint down the quarter mile in 12.7 seconds at 113 miles per hour, making it 0.3 seconds quicker than that Ferrari F40. Now the difference between turbo Buicks, like the Grand National and Turbo T-Type, is only appearance. The Grand National is all black with a custom interior, while a Turbo T-Type can be ordered with any interior option and color option. The GNX, on the other hand, differs from the Turbo Regals due to the performance upgrades put in by ASC McLaren. 1987 was the last year of Turbo Regals due to the General Motors switch to front-wheel drive platforms. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more like it, please subscribe and like this video. Please comment down below if I missed anything or you want to see anything different. Also comment below on ideas for a future video, and also, if you want to support me and this channel, please consider donating to my Patreon.